Hello and welcome. It is I, your host, Tatiana Noel, aka E Dirty Tati, and we're here. It's here, rather, the final round in the World Series, the World Cup Championship, rather, not the World Series. The final round of Season 6. I can't believe we've done 6 seasons of this thing, but here we are. As is tradition, I believe, the final round is at the famous World Circuit. Circuit de la Sarthe. I said that in the wrong order, but you know what I mean. It's the Le Mans circuit from the famous 24 hours of Le Mans. Some people say it's the best race in the world, and you know, I'm inclined to agree in a lot of ways. We are in a classic Le Mans car, rather a classic that comes from a classic Le Mans car. This is the Ford GT LMRC Spec 2. So this is a car that came out in the late 90s. It's not the original 1960s Ford GT, and yet it is no less formidable. These are great cars, great straight line cars, which is perfect for the slippery La Sarthe. This is it. You know, we've had 12 long rounds. We started this way back in October with our qualifying round rather, and then the first round was in November. Here we are at the beginning of April, ending this latest season of the World Cup. Let's talk about our grid today. This Lobby 1 is full of pros. Gotta love it. In first place, we got Monkey Man Macho LT. In second place, our championship leader. If he can start the race, he has clinched the championship. That's Rusty Maggots. In third, The Truth, who's not too far behind. BVL Tech Racing, or Tech Racing rather. In fourth, Cyclone Dan. In fifth, Sticky Bandit. In sixth, Turbo. In seventh place, Hovercraft. In eighth place, Burning Man 420. In ninth, Mad Hatter. In 10th, HPR. In 11th, Richards. In 12th, Let It Rip. In 13th, Matt Campbell. In 14th, and AT16 Racing in 15th to round it out. As you can see, lots and lots of representation from the S7R team. Let's see. I want to make sure that our guys know that I'm ready to go, because I am. I think I asked for 5 extra minutes, but I didn't end up needing them. Aren't we happy about that? Yes, we are. Let's who do we have on track already? Let's take a look. We are 16 out of 16. That means everyone is here. I am the 16th person, of course. And, you know, sometimes it's tempting to jump in and like race and be like, maybe they won't notice, but they'll notice. They'll notice. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Not this time, but no promises for season 7, because sometimes we're on tracks that I absolutely love. And I hate that I just get to yell about it and I don't actually get to participate. Anyway, everyone is saying that they're ready to go, so we're gonna jump on the track very soon here. Yep, that's my cue that they're starting up. I will switch y'all over to it in just 1 second. Let's turn on that PlayStation sound so you can start hearing the noises, the wonderful, wonderful noises. All right, let's go spectate while we wait on these lights to go off. Make sure y'all can see everything. There you go. False starts are penalized. That means they got to start the race with their feet on the pedal. I cheat. I use the e-brake button on my steering wheel because it's quicker to take your thumb off of a button than your foot off of a pedal. And so sometimes you get those great starts. But they're off. All these guys are in the same car, so how good they get off is all up to them. Wow, we're already 3 wide for second, third, and fourth place as we head towards the Dunlop chicane. Hopefully they stop that. Yep, can't go through that 2-3 wide. Oh, and we have, I think it was Tech Racing who's gone off. We have a bunch of offs. Is anyone completely off track? Having trouble seeing where everyone is. Yeah, I'm gonna call a red flag on that, because that's not a good start. Let's not start off that way. Let's do it better, please team. Let's do it just a little bit better. So I'm gonna call a red flag. We'll get to restart this thing. We get 2 red flag chances. Basically, I call a red flag if 2 or more cars are involved in a major incident in the first, sector or 2 of the race, give or take. I just want to make sure, hey, we had a lot going on there. Some people had a really good start. They got off the line really well. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good look. Yeah, got some folks. Congrats to the winner. Gran Turismo gives you these automatic messages that play when you come into the room and at the end of a race, and you can set that. So technically this race ended, so we're getting everyone's goodbye messages, end of race messages, including mine that needs updating. Badly needs to be updated. It talks about my Twitch channel, which hasn't been online in years. Anyway, the chat is popping. Let me see, what can I talk about? Why don't we talk about these championship standings here? Because, I wish we still had those result graphics. Maybe I'll make a bid to bring them back for next season. But anyway, it looks like everyone's telling us to ready up anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on track. Check out HPR's car. That looks great, doesn't it? Going down the Mulsanne. Oh my gosh, we caught that just in time. What a view. HPR, of course, one of the quicker drivers in the championship. Very often is in Lobby 1. He is listed as a Pro-Am driver, which is interesting, but, kind of makes sense. His speed. Oh, you know what? Why don't we take the banner off? Nobody needs the banner. Oh, well. He's running. He stopped running. So we'll go with Hovercraft, who is spinning. All right, well, the race has started. We'll put the banner back on. Anyway, the point I was trying to make about HPR is that he's not fast in a straight line, so probably got categorized as Pro-Am at the start of the season in qualifying, but his speed is on race pace, so it'll be interesting to see where he finishes this race today, as he is starting it way down in 11th place. So a long way to go for him. The lights are off now. They are green flag racing. Hopefully we can get a better start this time around. We're gonna go on board with HPR actually. That way we can look forward and backwards, see how we get through Dunlop this time around. Is it neater? People being really patient here. A couple of knocks. One person off in Dunlop, but not too big a deal. It looks like everyone behind HPR seems to have made it through very well. So we are off racing so far. You know, there's still a couple of corners that could be questionable, but we're still in the same order up front. Monkey Man leads, Rusty leads, Tech Racing in third place. So not too much argy-bargy going on there either, thankfully. Actually, no, that's not true. Tech Racing was in fourth place. The Truth started in third, and so that is a change of position for those three guys as they get onto the Mulsanne. Too wide here for Cyclone and Turbo. Who's going to break first for this first chicane here, huh? That's always the question. You play a game of chicken. Let's go chase cam with, who's this? This is Hovercraft. Hovercraft, thanks for being the camera car, my boy. And Cyclone plays it safe, decides, all right, it's a 2-hour race. I'm gonna let him have it. No need to go too wide into the chicane. So they race on. Let me check with the rest of the field, make sure that no one is backwards or severely damaged. I think we're okay. More too wide action here, but Ricardis with damage. Ricardis has damage. I'm not sure how that happened. I don't see any other cars with damage, so I don't think I can call a red flag for him, unfortunately. And it seems like he is going slow in that on that straight, and I don't know that it actually involved another car either. But he is slow getting to the second chicane, while you can see the very last person, I think that was Terpsky, is already off. Down the Mulsanne they go as they head into Mulsanne corner, one of the most difficult corners on the track. Hard kink, then braking in as straight a line as you can, widen out that corner. There goes Macho Man, there goes Rusty and Tech, and everyone else behind him. Single file. Do we have more double, too wide action going on? It's like double wide action. Who's that with a penalty? That is Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell with a half second already, probably picked up one of those chicanes. Super easy to do, especially that second chicane. Something weird about the white line versus the curb. You expect to cut the curb, but the white line doesn't go there yet. Something. Anyway, the track limits are weird there, and it's very easy to mess it up. So I expect to see a lot of half-second penalties coming out of that second chicane. You know, hopefully people practiced enough and know how to do it, how to take it. But quick lobby today, full of great drivers, and Macho Man has to save a big slide coming out of the Mulsanne corner. Not Mulsanne, sorry, where are we? This is, what is that corner called? Arnage? It's not Arnage. It's a corner name, and I'm going to find it for you, but they're headed towards the Porsche curves. Big slide coming out of that thing, though. Very scary for him. Rusty probably got a look and got a little excited about it, but he's still over a second off. He's going to want to get back in his slipstream, or Macho will really be gone. He's got some time, though. Just got to follow him through the stadium complex here, out of the Porsche curves. You get into, I guess I'm calling it a stadium complex. I guess we're not quite in the stadium. I don't really know if these are still considered the Porsche curves, but I know you get into the Ford chicanes here, and he's got to close up that gap. He's got from the chicanes to about Dunlop. The Dunlop chicane is where you see that Dunlop bridge, but after that, if he's still not in his slipstream, and the time is going up, it's 1.5 seconds now, Rusty is going to have a hard time keeping up with him. That said, he doesn't have to. Rusty is obviously a hard competitor to be leading this championship. He's been consistent throughout the 12 rounds, consistently here, consistently racing. All he had to do was start this race to clinch it. So it's not that he's going to lay down easy, but also He doesn't have to work too hard. He's going to be okay. But maybe, you know, maybe he absolutely is wanting to win this race just to really put an exclamation mark on it. He does have to save some fuel, so maybe it's all part of the plan. He's got a big line of cars behind him. Got a huge gap forming between 4th and 5th, though. 2.5 seconds between the Truth and Turbo. And you know what? I can hardly see this. I'm not at home. I'm in a different setup today, and my feed seems to be a little low res. Cyclone with his own half-second penalty that he's going to have to take care of at the penalty box. We've got some comments in the chat. Thank you, Big Red, for the volume balance. Ricardos, don't want to spoil, but keep an eye on pink arrows at the end of the race. Black Flag TV, hey, what's going on, man? Ooh, what's going on here? Just in front, 3 wide for Cyclone. Let it rip. And who's that in front of Let It Rip? Matt Campbell. One of these guys has a penalty and is going to have to give it up, and that is Cyclone there. We have a little bit of ding-donging around, which might be my problem. I am running my PlayStation on the Wi-Fi today. Ooh, another penalty. More penalty. Cyclone with an additional half-second, bringing it to a whole second for him. And Sticky Bandit also picked one up coming out of that chicane. We gotta take a look at like an onboard or something to try to figure out what is it about that chicane. What is it? What is it? Black Flag, BBL, and S7R, top 3 in that order. I can't talk about that. I can't show my opinion about that. But penalties coming out of the midfield. What's going on up front? How are things with our top 5? Turbo barely clinging on to Hovercraft, and there's Rusty. Why is Rusty in 4th place? Rusty's in 4th. Rusty's been passed, so he's out of 2nd, passed by the Truth and Tech Racing. Not sure what happened, or if something did happen, or if they just decided this guy's going too slow. We gotta move on. He's letting Macho Man get away. Unfortunately, we missed it because we were looking at midfield drama, midfield penalties. They matter. Midfield penalties matter too. Okay? They matter. Tech Racing and the Truth very, very close behind one another now. The Truth very pacey. Usually, we see him run away with a lot of races, both in this lobby and in lobby 2 earlier in the season. I think he's gotten faster as the season has worn on, honestly. But good racing between the two of them. This is definitely, even though it's only 2 hours versus the 24, it's still a track that requires patience. The race will come to you. Mistakes are very costly here because it's such a fast track. It's always better to just keep your head about you and keep your head down and turn consistent laps. That's it. That's the key to racing at Le Mans, and that's why I'm terrible at racing at Le Mans. I can't do that. I'm really not good at this track, guys. I enjoy some parts of it, certainly, but it's absolutely not my favorite because I'm not good at it. HPR is down in 14th place, though he started in 11th, so a bad moment for him, I would imagine. Something happened there. Ricardos is no longer carrying damage, so he's pitted for that. And now he sits 21.4 seconds behind HPR. And I wonder, what's the gap for HPR? 16.7 seconds to Turbo. So I wonder if he also had to pit for damage at some point, or if it really was just a big off. Ooh, our leader with a half-second penalty, Monkey Man. He's got a 2.1 second gap right now, but that's obviously going to come down with that penalty. These penalties are never actually worth the amount of time they say they're worth. They are worth more, so he might lose a second or more on this one, and well, you hate to see it. You do. 1.5 seconds, he just picked up another. Well, that's definitely definitely going to have him not only caught, but possibly passed by Tech Racing, who sits in second place now, having inherited it from Rusty Maggots and followed through by the Shrew. So this race, this top 5 race, just completely changed again. Rusty has his own 5-second penalty. Half second. I'm gonna get on board because I want to see if we can see what's happening in that first chicane. Maybe I can understand it. I don't know why I think I can understand it in real time here when I can't understand it in a lobby myself, but here we are. It does look like in the very first part of the chicane, that first left, that you can get way more on the curb than you expect because the white line is so, or you can't get on the curb as much as you expect, rather, because the white line is so far from the curb. Maybe that's been my problem. We'll take a look at it again. The penalties haven't been served yet, so Monkey Man is still sitting on that 1.5. I think the penalties are served. Ooh, where are penalties served around here? We're gonna find out, obviously. So no biggie not to know in this moment, but I want to see it. I want to see when the penalty is taken. I don't want to miss it because I want to see what happens to this race. Is the truth under attack by Tech Racing? These are the only 2 in the top 4 that don't have a penalty right now, so they would do well not to fight and see if they can maximize on being in a penalty sandwich. You know, maximize how much time you have, or how much time you gain when Macho Man has to take that penalty, and it looks like they are not fighting. Macho Man pulls off of the racing line, rightfully so, and he is going to lose at least 1 position here, headed into the Porsche curves. If he decides to get cheeky, he can shut the door on Tech Racing, but he doesn't. So that's the truth and Tech Racing through. Macho Man in 3rd. Rusty had to take a penalty, and so he is not in the running. He's still 2.3 seconds behind Macho Man as they head into the Porsche chicanes, the Porsche S's rather. Porsche curves, they're called curves. Jesus, you know, where is Paul? You guys probably have heard me doing commentary with Paul at this point. He's my buddy, and this is his absolute most favorite track in the world and favorite race in the world, and I need him now because it's not mine. We argue all the time over whether the 24-hour Le Mans is the better race or if it's the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Anyway, clearly right now though, the best racing in the world is a World Cup, Season 6, Round 12, Lobby 1, still very close, 3 laps in. I know that doesn't sound like much, but around this track, when a lap is 4 minutes plus long, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal to have a lot of people still running nose to tail. What's going on there? Was that a 2-wide situation going on? Yeah, that's Matt Campbell looking to make a move on Turbo. He's got the outside. No, he's not the outside. Sorry. He shut the door for Dunlop chicane and made that move. So Turbo down into 8th place. Is that? I think that's a demotion of positions for Turbo. Yeah, he started in 7th. So it's not the biggest deal. It's not the biggest deal. He's getting it. Matt Campbell, meanwhile, is on an absolute rip. This guy started in 14th. So he's in 7th place now. We've seen this from Matt before. Huge, heroic drives, fantastic drives. He's just got to hold on to it. I think penalties really hurt him last race. Penalties and I think some off-track excursions as well. If you can just keep it together, again, keep your head about you. The race will come to you. So Matt Campbell leads Turbo. Let it rip. 2 S7R guys. Actually, let it rip. And AT16 working together down the Mulsanne. This is, you know, this race is almost like a NASCAR race where cooperation is key going down the Mulsanne. You want that slipstream. Turbo having an issue in that first chicane. Not sure what that was about, but trouble for him. He's down in 8th, but now he's got the 2 Let It Rip boys up his wing, so to speak. And are they going to make moves into the second chicane, or are they just going to push him along, give him some bump drafts to get him back up to Matt Campbell there? And I think they're going to do just that. I don't see anyone popping out, showing a nose, and that's what I mean by cooperation. Turbo is, I mean, everyone's competing, right? Turbo messed up. Turbo's going slow. They could have easily gone around him. They could have easily, you know, given him a bump draft and then gone around, but they'd rather catch the car in front. So it makes sense to me. Sticky Bandit, half a second there. Cyclone, Turbo. oh, sorry, Turbozi, HPR, and Ricardus are all separated by a lot of time. What's going on up front? Tech Racing up front, still leading. The Truth with a half second. Monkey Man right behind him with a half second though, so that will be negated. However, that's a chance for Tech Racing. Rusty Maggots right there with them as well now, so Rusty's going to pick up some positions, and possibly Hovercraft, because the top 5 are running nose to tail once again. Le Mans penalties, the great equalizer in Gran Turismo. You love to see it, honestly. Let's see. Ooh, Monkey Man, not only that half-second penalty, getting stuck in the grass there a little bit. Okay, Hovercraft with a purple sector there. And here come the penalty. So what does Hovercraft get? What does he get to inherit? That's Macho Man up front. That's Rusty. That's the Truth. And he's not going to get anything. Rusty goes through on Macho Man, though, so he's up in second place now. Behind them slots in. Ooh, big lax back there. I don't know if that was me or somebody else, but the Truth slots into 4th there. And then Hovercraft didn't pick up anything, but he gets to stay along, and if he stays mistake-free, it'll be his turn next time around the track. Those top 5 have a huge gap to 6th place there, over 5 seconds, almost 6 seconds actually. Mad Hatter running with Matt Campbell just behind in 7th place. And Matt hasn't been looking to cooperate with anyone, so I expect that if he catches Mad Hatter, which he's not going to do like that, yeah, he's actually going to get passed by Turbo, possibly. Nope, Turbo thinks better of it. Not really a great idea to make a move into the forward chicanes. They're not easy to go too wide on. So, Matt Campbell lives another day, but catches way up to Mad Hatter. Picks up, I think, 2 or 3 tenths there, just in the chicanes. So, well done to him there. I expect that he will be making a pass for position if he ever reaches up there, though. Let It Rip is not too far back. Behind Let It Rip was AT16. Yeah, there he is in that yellow livery in the background. Sticky Bandits in 11th. That means, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Just checking. I'm like, what's going on here? Still got Sticky and Cyclone running together. Let's check out the Ricardus. Ooh, a half second for Ricardus there. He's just finishing up lap 4. Just like everyone else, so he's still only 23 seconds behind. If he can stay consistent and run some pretty quick laps, he'll catch up to the rest of the pack. He's just, gotta stay consistent. So after those big penalties we saw up front, here's Tech Racing, 2.7 seconds of clear air behind the cam tail of that Ford GT. Actually, wait, do these have cam tails? Ish. A modern interpretation of one. You know what? No, that's a cam tail. That's a cam tail. If you're not familiar with that, look it up. Cam is spelled, I think, K-A-M. But it was a huge aerodynamic advancement in race cars that allowed these cars to kind of clean up the air that was flowing behind them, which helps reduce the drag. Anyway, I'm not a fluid dynamicist, an engineer, or whatever. know the science, but like I know there's science. You know what I mean? Hey, Hovercraft picked something up. There's Macho Man in 5th place behind him. So Macho Man keeps on losing positions from 1st to 5th place here. He's still in the race, obviously. He's only 3.7 seconds behind Tech Racing in 1st, but he's going to want to be careful. Be careful, bud. Down into Indy. One of the most difficult braking points and corners on this track is Indianapolis corner. I like it because it's fun, and then this next corner, which I was right about actually, it is Arnage. Also hard, but mostly because it's hard braking and then a 90-degree right. When you have these big old front-engined high-powered rear-wheel drive cars. Very easy to spin the wheels, as we saw Macho Man doing a couple of laps ago coming out of there. But a really good complex of corners there is Indy through Arnage. Those are probably, they should be the corners that are the hardest to master. But you know, for me, it's these, the Porsche curves, because I'm weird. Of course it's the harder ones. I don't know. Don't come for me. What's the first? I don't know what the chicanes are named now, but they used to be Xbox and PlayStation chicane, and I like them days. I want to go back to them days, but you know, no love for us old heads who just want things to be named after our favorite video games and systems. But I think, like, I don't know, one of them became like Microsoft or something like that. No fun. This race, I don't want to go away from because I feel like something's going to happen, but I just saw some people in the dirt here, and that's because we got something too wide going down between AT16 and Let It Rip. I think maybe Let It Rip had a mistake there, so teammate AT16 will gladly take the lead of this effort into Dunlop. Turbo with a half-second penalty, so there is a position to be gained if they don't make mistakes. Matt Campbell has made that pass on Matadadder, which, you know, I said he would if he caught him, and he did catch him. So Matt Campbell into 6th place now, and he is going to run after Monkey Man and the top 5. They're 5.7 seconds away. To my whole point here, Matt Campbell with a purple first sector in the race. He is speeding up. These guys, they better watch themselves. They're heading into those chicanes where the penalties have been picked up by pretty much at least everyone in this group at least once, except Tech Racing. I don't think I've seen a penalty from him, and maybe not even Hovercraft. Oh, big lag spikes. I don't know. Is that lag, or did someone actually hit a wall or something? This is hard to tell what's happening. First of all, y'all aren't allowed to be able to see this, but I think I might be the problem. Perhaps my Wi-Fi connection. I don't see any damage on anyone's car, so I don't think anyone actually hit the wall. Oh my. I'm gonna hope my connection stabilizes very soon here, because this is the most interesting racing I've ever seen if it doesn't, and we're fine. Hovercraft purple there. Maybe Monkey Man had an even faster time through there, but okay, that was weird. Nobody in this front group has penalties, but guess what? I just saw the flash of penalty lights behind them. We'll go and see who has them, but I want to see how these guys make it through Mulsanne Corner. Professionals. No damage. We're back here. Damage. Matadadder with a half-second penalty in 6th place. Oh. Now, how is he in 6th place? What's happened to Matt Campbell? Turbo with a half-second behind him in 7th. AT16, nothing. Matt Campbell in 9th and a half-second penalty. Let It Rip somehow completely out of this fight, but we'll catch up to Matt Campbell at the very least once he takes his penalty. But this midfield suddenly shuffled up a lot in the Mulsanne while I was watching the weirdest ballet in the world. We have 2 distinct groups of like 4 or 5 cars, and I love it. I mean, obviously I wish we had one big group of 10, obviously, but this is interesting. I'm going to stay here with these guys, see how the penalties shuffle it up. Matadadder leads Turbo, leads AT16. I expect AT16 to get up front here. Matt Campbell also had a penalty to take, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, where do people end up? AT16 does go through Matadadder into 7th, so he doesn't lose too much. Turbo down to 8th. Matt Campbell still in 9th, and Let It Rip doesn't pick up anything, but now, well, he's picked up a toe. He's picked up a toe from Matt Campbell. Any racing going on behind them? No racing going on behind them whatsoever, so let's go back up front. Tech Racing continues to run away, 2.7 seconds for him. The Shoot Serum back up in the 2nd place where he wanted to be. Actually, I think he started 3rd, but you know what I mean. He did get up to 2nd at some point. And Rusty Maggots is going to lose a position coming out of Dunlop. He did not come out of the chicane. Well, I'm sorry, not Dunlop. One of the 4 chicanes, or the 2nd one. So a penalty there for him, and that's a half second. Monkey Man with an entire second penalty, so that's going to make that interesting. They will both kind of lose this pack, unfortunately, unless they can work together to catch up and maybe even make a pass on Hovercraft into the down the Mazan, rather. Maybe make some magic happen in some of these chicanes. Hovercraft has been nothing but consistent, though, by the way. Quiet. No penalties, though. Oh, and that's Monkey Man around. Monkey Man around in... Ooh, that's not good at all. He is not going to be happy with that, but Monkey Man around at Tetra Rouge. Actually, I think that started before Tetra Rouge. Sounded like he was coming out of those corners and maybe just went a little wide. It's so easy to do there when you have dirty air, and he was following behind Rusty Maggots, and he just lost a ton of time with that. 6.7 seconds, but miraculously, no damage. No damage. So losing 6.7 seconds plus the second penalty, that brings Monkey Man squarely into this second pack here, this mid pack, running from AT16 and 6 all the way down to, I believe, Matt Camp. No, Let It Rip. It would be in 10th place. Monkey Man, again, just working his way down the order, working his way backwards down the order. Matadatter picks up a half-second penalty in that chicane there. Just bad luck for Matadatter, too, seeing things happening to him. Up front, Rusty Maggots in 4th place has the second penalty as well. 1 second for him, and he's already 1.6 behind Hovercraft, so that might bring him into that backpack as well. Maybe not quite. There's 6 seconds behind, but he definitely will lose touch with Hovercraft, The Truth, and Tech Racing, who continue on here. Racing is already so good, it's making me thirsty. I'm going to try to mute the mic whenever I take a sip, but it has been a race, hasn't it? Lap 7, 26 minutes in, and it has been a race. Cars are approaching Indy here. You see this fast sweeper, then you got to get hard on the brakes in as straight a line as you can to make this sharp left, and then you are back on the throttle and then down on the brakes again right here for our Naj. Gentle on the throttle, gentle, use all the track that you can and get out of there, and then you take your long 1 second penalty. That was that complex of corners with Monkey Man. That brings AT16 in front of him. This is a sight that Monkey Man is probably getting tired of seeing, which is someone passing him just outside the penalty zone. Turbo not going to be able to make anything happen right here, so he is going to slot in behind Monkey Man for Porsche and the curves after it. We're starting to break up here because Matt Campbell had that penalty, and looks like he slowed Matadatter down, and Matadatter, not being patient, slams himself into a wall in his dirty air in the Porsche curves. He's got damage. He's picked up damage on that front splitter and front right wheel. Will he pit here? I can't imagine he wouldn't. I feel like you gotta fix any aero damage on this track if you get it. Half second picked up for him there. Let It Rip behind also picks up a half second. Matadatter not going to pit. I don't think that's the right move. I think that he is really going to be hurting in Mulsanne, and of course in the run down to Indy. That's just the second very long straight around here. I think he should have decided to pit, but I'm not racing. Oh, and now he definitely wishes he pitted because he just got sent in Dunlop. I don't know if he got sent or if he sent himself, but this wouldn't have happened if he'd been in pit lane fixing his car. So Matadatter down to 10th place, and that is him done. He is gone from this race, which is unfortunate. You never like to see a rage quit. I understand the difficulty of staying in it when you feel like you've been done wrong, or if you just feel like you're not doing well. But that's unfortunate. HPR, by the way, last time we checked on him, he was down to 14th place. He's made his way back up into 11th where he was. Ooh, runs a purple first sector there. So HPR feeling that car. Maybe it's gotten light enough now that he can run very quick laps. Fastest lap so far is Hovercraft with 3:59.5, which he did, I think, a while ago. Let me see. No, he just did it. Ha! Just did it this last lap. So indeed, the cars are getting faster. The tires aren't that worn out, and they have fuel in the cars. But Hovercraft, with the first penalty we've seen from him, half a second as he is following the truth. He's got some space behind him. Rusty Maggots is 4 seconds back, so he doesn't have to worry about losing a position, but he might lose his toe, might lose track of the truth here as they try to chase down Tech Racing. Tech is killing. He's 3 seconds up the road from them. Rusty Maggots, no damage on his car or anything like that. He's just been picking up penalty after penalty. And as predicted, he didn't fall into the clutches of his backpack here. Macho Man did. He's back up in front of AT16. And if he can keep it penalty free, maybe he can get away. We'll have to see what his true pace is. It's been hard to tell because he's had penalties on so many laps. His best lap was way back on lap 2. It was a 4-minute, almost flat, a 4-minute 1:38, and there he is, very purple in that sector, up by half a second, and no penalty to boot. So this should be a very quick lap for him. And if he can string together a bunch of them, maybe he can catch up to Rusty. We'll see. Rusty himself has some catching up to do. Hey, Chris. Sorry that you're missing this race, but we're glad to see you. Glad to see you come say hi. I hope you're still here. I don't know how long ago you sent those messages, but glad to see you. Sorry you can't be here. And congratulations on the new house, though. You know what I mean? It was either a house or Le Mans. Who just took their penalty? Hovercraft just took his penalty, and he sits 1.6 seconds behind the truth and counting. This is what I mean, right? He was on the truth's bumper, but he takes that half-second penalty. It's worth way more than a half second. So you really want to avoid penalties in this game. Definitely want to avoid them on fast tracks like this, and that's not what AT16 has managed to do. Half seconds for him, so he's going to lose touch with Monkey Man. Monkey Man probably happy to see that. Turbo looking at it to see, hey, maybe I can make something happen. He's got most of a lap to try and catch up and capitalize on that half-second penalty of AT16's. Otherwise, if the gap stays where it is, 1.2, I think AT16 would be able to defend into Porsche. There's really only one quick line through the Porsche curves. Matt Campbell down to 8th, made a huge run, got himself up to 6th place. 8th place still not, still respectable, right? Started in 14th. Chris is still here. Good, I'm glad you get to watch. Let It Rip sits in 9th place. Lost touch with his teammate AT16 a couple of laps ago, and now kind of running alone. He's got 4.3 seconds to Matt 16, the Sticky Bandit. Sticky just been chilling as well. Nothing to really report for Sticky. HPR catching up to him though, so HPR looking to get his way into the top 10 here, pick up some big points. I mean, you get points even below, but still, you know, Formula One, you get points in top 10. Cyclone also, and Ricardus running alone. Turbozi actually not behind, now behind Ricardus. I wonder if he had to pit. I think so. Lap 5 and 6 look like a pit in lap and a pit out lap, looking at those times. But our leader, Tech Racing, continues to lead by 2.7 seconds. It's kind of been accordioning between 2.7 and 3 seconds. I haven't seen it get too much bigger, though. Hovercraft still working to catch up to the truth. He's within a second, though, and I believe with the slipstream settings we use in these lobbies, he should be within slip if he's just a second in arrears. It's not a very strong slipstream, but it's there. Those V8 sound so good. Anyone racing close? Monkey Man, another half second. AT16 probably happy to see that because he's still carrying that half second we saw him pick up in the last lap. and it looked like he was going to lose touch with Macho Man, which he already kind of has. It's 2.9 seconds, but it will remain at that gap or close to that gap because they'll both have the exact same penalty. Turbo has closed up the big amount of space between himself and AT16 though, so if he stays right there, he's going to be able to benefit from AT16 taking that penalty. They are in Mulsanne now. We'll go on board with Turbo as they head down. Oof, golf? I don't know, but Turbo able to short shift that big old massive V8 because he's got a good slipstream, so able to short shift it, get some fuel saving going. It's pretty torquey. You're gonna go fast anyway with this massive thing. And yeah, now he is absolutely reeling AT16 in. He's gonna have to be careful here for the king, and down to the brakes for Indy corner. Gets that done perfectly. Dirty air, not a problem for him. And so as long as he doesn't spin it in Arnage here, he gets to inherit 6th place. No spin, well done. Now he no longer has a slipstream. Is he going to keep short shifting? I'm just nosy. I want to see. He does continue to short shift, which shows me he could have been shifting even shorter when he had the slip. I'm just saying. But that's just me. I'm a fuel sipper. I like to sip it. What's going on behind them? Matt Campbell still in 8th. Let it rip. HPR now catching up to Sticky. This might be our only battle on track. This battle for 10th place. And HPR has actually made that pass happen. I completely missed it. So I'm not sure if it's still a battle, but it feels like it because I said so. Well, we'll keep an eye. Maybe Sticky Bandit comes back on him or not. I want to make sure I don't miss anything up front, of course. Did I just see? I sure did. That is Tech Racing, who was in 1st place, and now he's in 8th. What just happened? After running his personal best fastest lap, last lap, he finds himself from 1st to 8th. Yellow flag for who? Who did I just see spun? That's Monkey Man. Oh no, it is not going well for Monkey Man at all in this race. I wonder what happened to Tech. What's that lap time? A 4:19.7. Yikes, 20 seconds lost somewhere on the course. I don't know where. It wasn't a penalty that I know of, but a huge moment for Tech Racing, and that gives the truth the lead of this race. Which, hey, of course he'll take it naturally. But he just inherited 7th because somebody had a moment. I think I just heard somebody have another moment. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, I was wrong. I thought I heard somebody hit a wall or something. But the truth is he under attack by Hovercraft. Hovercraft definitely showing the nose into that first chicane. But I don't think he's going to be able to make a pass yet, but he's very close and might be able to make something happen in the 2nd chicane. These two have it in the bag. 5 seconds to Rusty. You know, I shouldn't say that. It's very soon to say they have it in the bag. We're only 37 minutes into a 2-hour race, but they have built up the biggest gap that we've seen so far from 1st, 2nd, and the rest. Yeah, Prez, 2 top guys having moments. So Rusty haven't been having a good race, been picking up a lot of penalties from what I've seen, but maybe he has figured it out now and has it together. But man, you can just see how far the white line is from the inside of the curb there. It's so easy to think that you can use up all of that curb and that you're still in bounds, but you're not. You're not in bounds, and the game will punish you with that half-second penalty every time. Turbo in 4th place. We've had Turbo. We've seen him go back and forth, but net gain for Turbo through the mid-pack. He started this thing in 7th place, now up to 4th, and if he can keep it up, you know, he'll continue doing that. He will be keeping it up. What else to report? Well, we just saw Macho Man with a huge moment. So Macho Man goes from 1st place. I think he's in 9th now. Matt Campbell back up to 6th for him. Tech with, unfortunately, a huge loss. 20 seconds lost on the track, like I said, as far as his normal lap time. And he's now 17.8 seconds behind the front runners. Let It Rip. He's been racing alone for a long time now. A few laps at least. HPR picks up that 10th place position from that ninth place position rather, from Macho Man. So he deepening his reach into the top 10. Macho Man has front aero damage, and I think, yeah, you can see right there, it's severely slowing him down. Sticky Bandit able to get around him easily and gonna get past him. Man, this is the last thing you want at a track like Le Mans, where all of the time on the track is made up in the straights, these long, fast straights. Of course, there are corners, but many of them are high speed, like the Porsche corner here. The S's, these are very fast. You don't really get a slow corner in the track until the chicanes, the final two chicanes that slow you down onto the front straight, and then Dunlop is slow. Why don't we go on board with the truth? I am scared to do a whole lap, but we haven't even done a lap long on board. Maybe we won't. We still won't. But those are the 4 chicanes right there. They're very slow, as you can tell. And then you have another long-ish straight. It's not long for this track, but it's long to this kink, and then the next slow corner is right here at the start of the Dunlop chicane. So basically, the chicanes are the slow spots, and some of them are quick. The chicanes on the Lausanne are taken very quickly. I wouldn't even really call them slow. Actually, I wouldn't call them slow at all. They're not slow corners. So, point is, if you have front aero damage and you cannot carry speed or pick up speed because you're generating too much downforce, you're gonna have a really hard time. And Monkey Man had better pit this car to fix that, and he's not going to. Maybe because the pit window opens soon? I don't know. We got 9 minutes till the pit window opens, but then you're talking about pitting early for the softs, if, you know, unless you're just gonna run the mediums out. I don't know. I don't think it's worth sitting out with front aero damage, especially seeing how badly it slowed you down. Sticky Bandit passed them not too long ago and already has picked up 10.7 seconds on him. Sticky made that pass coming out of Lausanne corner. They were on the straight heading into Indy. So the final half of the lap, really, and now we're at the start of the next lap, and it's already 10.7 seconds. So I don't think that was a good gamble to not pit the car. Maybe something else happened to create even a bigger gap, but I don't know. That's why I don't know sound. See you, Chris. I guess you'll get my see you while you're packing these boxes. What's going on? Top 5. Turbo now leads AT16, but they are still together. Oof. So good looking. Turbo, of course, with that Gulf livery, which is so right on this car, so right on the 4GT altogether. And S7R AT16 with a, I feel like this is a known or tribute livery. For some reason, yellow with double black stripes feels familiar with this car. Of course, double stripes on this car are absolutely iconic in whatever variation you may have them. Double racing stripes is the way to go on this generation 4GT, and a lot of people here definitely understood the assignment. Others made a different choice. That's okay. You don't have to. Sticky with the triple racing line. Sticky says, I go all the way. Monkey Man to 11th place. Cyclone just been running alone for pretty much his whole race. Not been battling, but, you know, staying in it. There's always points to pick up. You just don't know what you can get. You don't know. So why don't you go out and get it? Speaking of points, standings, you know what, let me go to, because I don't want to miss anything good, you know what I mean? I don't want to miss anything good. Cover, the truth, alright, Rusty, still in 3rd, doing well for Rusty. Turbo and AT16 doing their thing. Turbo with a penalty, so that's going to be another swap of position for these two. Let's talk about the championships. Rusty is in 1st in the championship, of course, and has clinched it by starting this race. Toto Wolff, who's not even in this race, is in 2nd place for the championship, followed very closely by the Truth, who's in this one. So the Truth might surpass him. I am not sure if Toto is racing today. Maybe he is. He might be in a different lobby. So let me take a look. I have that data. Toto. I don't see Toto. So not racing at all this weekend, it seems then. So Toto may lose that second place. Anyway, Mad at her in fourth place, who's not having a great race. We just saw left for the day. Cyclone Dan is in fifth. Burning Man in sixth place. Hovercraft in seventh place in the championship. Blue Paladin, who's not here today, down in eighth. Nuke in ninth. Tech Racing in 10th place in the championship. Could definitely would love to see first place again, so he can pick up those points, I'm sure, because he's not that far behind Nuke. Monkey Man is in 11th in the championship, also would love to pick up some points. RWB Nav in 12th. Kaizen TV 98 in 13th. Gurgle Kurgle in 14th. And Matt Campbell is in 15th place in the championship standings for the pro drivers, at least. We have some pro-ams in here as well. HPR actually stands at the top of the standings for pro-am, and given that there isn't another pro-am driver in here that can challenge his standing, let's see, maybe, no. No, and no. He's pretty much clinched that championship for himself as well with this race start. Other notable pro-ams who are in here are the Sticky Bandit sits in, ooh, I can't tell because it's an overall championship counting. So he's in 31st place in the championship. You know what? I'm not going to go here because now it's just not making any sense. But we got some fast guys in here. We've got some champions in here. Congratulations to both of them. Penalties have been the story of the race so far. We are 14 minutes from the halfway mark. And a lot of these changes for positions have been due to those little red numbers flying above the ceilings, the roofs of these cars, flying with them at 150 miles an hour down the straights. They always stay up with them. They never fall behind, do they? Tech Racing, our one-time leader who fell to 8th place, now back up to 6th. Respectable. Up to 6th. Still got a long way to go to catch up to Turbo in 1816. But he's trying. He's got that pesky penalty bug as well right now. He's got one on his back, but as soon as he's able to slap that thing off, hopefully he can take off. Matt Campbell, who's what's the word I'm looking for? Whose progress has stalled. He was in 14th, made his way all the way up to 6th place, I believe I saw was the highest he got, fell down to 8th with a series of penalties. Has been involved in a couple of incidents, no damage luckily, but has been around and that slowed him down. And now he's in the 7th place and he is chasing the one-time leader, Tech Racing. And he wants this bad. I know he wants this bad. Will he be able to get it? Tech Racing, with that penalty, allowed him to catch back up. Now he is in his slipstream, and can he hold on to it? Not only hold on to it, but convert it into another pass for 6th place. Or will they work together? They're only 4.2 seconds from Turbo. Now, of course, Matt possibly doesn't know that, but surely he can look up at that map and see, hey, those other arrows aren't too far away, so maybe we can get something together here. We have a long way to go. Pit window opens in 2 minutes, so I'm actually going to show you guys what the situation is for everyone as far as fuel and tires go. Would you like to see that? Is that a yes? Great. Starting with the truth. In first place is on the racing mediums. I believe everyone's on racing mediums today. And they don't look too bad. The rears are taking more punishment than the fronts, which is somewhat surprising given this heavy front engine big old... Oh, no, I'm lying. These are mid-engine. Haha. That would do it. I completely forgot. These are mid-engine beasts. And so, yes, all the weight is towards the rear tires. You got a ton of torque running through, coursing through those tires. So Yeah, of course they're getting chewed up. So, all right, that makes sense. More rear damage, not damage, but wear than front. Slightly more damage to the lefts than the rights, which I guess kind of makes sense. It's such a twisted course in some places, though. It's surprising that you would even have a noticeable bias. Let's talk about Hovercraft in second place. Hovercraft, man, been killing it in this race so far. He started way down in 8th place. So Hovercraft been on a run, been on a tear, and has picked up a ton of positions, and now is absolutely in contention for first. I think he's just biding his time, saving some fuel, doing what he's got to do. His tire wear looks about the same as the Truth, a little more on the front left than the Truth, though. He's been leaning on it a little more, but the Truth's been leaning on his fuel more. So a little less fuel in the Truth's car, a little more in Hovercraft's. It all balances out in the end, hopefully. Rusty Maggots now with the same amount of fuel as the Truth with a quarter tank. Tire wear looks a little bit worse on the rears than the Truth's looked, and definitely has that same front left, additional wear on the front left that Hovercraft showed. AT16, a little less than a quarter tank of fuel, but he's made his way up into 4th place. He's been killing it as well. Some of it's been luck, most of it has been speed. The situation looks very similar to the tires of the cars in front of him. The Truth so far looking the best with the absolute tire wear and front tires specifically. He's been very light on those front tires. Turbo also having a great race. 5th place, doesn't look too much different. Quarter tank of gas, a little bit more tire wear on the rear and the left front than the right front. Tech Racing with a half second. I think this might be an additional half second. I'm not sure if it's the same one he was carrying last time we saw him, but now Matt Campbell has one behind him too, so no advance there for Matt Campbell unless Tech Racing somehow picks up an additional penalty as they rock in the Indy. But he's got a quarter tank. Fronts look decent, comparable to the Truth's, except that front left does still have a little more wear than anyone else's. Matt Campbell, less fuel than most cars that we've seen, more tire wear all around, but he has been ripping and running on this car, so that kind of makes sense, and it might have some pace over Tech Racing. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I wish they'd stop taking penalties so we could see outright pace, but it looks like he's got even closer to Tech Racing there. Let it rip. A little less than a quarter tank of fuel. Tires look pretty good. Sitting in 8th place there, and he has been for a while. HPR, who made his way up to 9th and has picked up a lot of time, is about to pick up more because Sticky's got a penalty behind him there. He's got a quarter tank of fuel. Tires look great as well. He's really good at saving fuel and tires, so that's to be expected for HPR, but not out of range for anyone else that we've seen. It's not remarkably different. Sticky Bandit actually looks very much the same as HPR did. Nothing to talk about there. So does Cyclone, and Cyclone also with kind of light front tire wear. Not quite as light as the Truth, but lighter. Teammates Ricardus and Monkey Man. I don't even think I realized that they had the same livery, but they've come together now. So Monkey Man loses the position to Ricardus. Oh, no, Ricardus tucks in, lets him in front as they hit Arnage. Nope, Indy, sorry. But I think Ricardus has pace over Monkey Man, and that's because Monkey Man's still carrying that front splitter damage. So, Monkey Man with a quarter tank, a little over a quarter tank, front splitter damage. Tire wear doesn't look much different from anyone else's, but, you know, it's a far fall from grace from 1st to 12th place in the span of less than an hour, 18 laps around Le Mans. Ricardus, very low on fuel, actually, compared to anyone else that we've seen. Tire wear not so different, and then finally we have Turbozi. He's got a half-second penalty here, and a little over a quarter tank, and tire wear also doesn't look too different. So that's our rundown. Pit window is now officially open. It has been for a little bit, 3 minutes or so here. That's my bad for not putting it up, but we should start to see people pitting. First we have a 2-wide situation between the Truth and Hovercraft down the Mulsanne. Hovercraft takes the lead. He's got the inside for the next chicane, and that is a change for the lead, which we haven't seen in a while. We haven't seen since Tech Racing had his issue. So Hovercraft now leads the Truth as they head down towards Mulsanne Corner. Is the Truth going to try to get back on him, or is he going to realize, hey, I messed up, I was slow somewhere, he got me, it is what it is. No, the Truth pops out, he wants it back. He's not going to get it, he wasn't close enough to do it. Maybe popping out just to ensure that he did not go into that braking zone with too much slipstream. Exciting stuff. Rusty is so not far from them. 3 seconds is that gap, and if these two get to fighting, if there's any need to defend, adjust lines, etc., Rusty's gonna be right there, and that gap is coming down. 2.7. Mind you, these are all S7R guys, so possibly teamwork, you know, it is what it is. Hovercraft, The Truth, Rusty, all teammates, all competitors, of course, but they're not gonna work together against another team member. Will they? Maybe. I would. I'd be like, bro, let's do it. Forget that guy. Let's get away. But Rusty is not easy to get rid of. 2.3 seconds now. Rusty is really, really trying to get them, reeling them in. What's going on with our Tech Racing Matt Campbell situation? Oh, Tech Racing's gone. Up the road. 2.7 seconds. Never mind. Right there. So this is what we're waiting on. We're waiting to see if Rusty can catch up to those two guys. He's not gonna play the game. He's pitting. He said, y'all go on, I got this, I'll see you later. So Rusty gonna pit for a new set of tires, a fresh set of softs, if you will, and a splash of fuel to make it to the end. And by splash I mean a lot of fuel. A lot of fuel. He's gonna need a lot of gas in there. Do we start with 100% fuel on this race? Let me take a look. Let me check. It should be in the schedule. Watching this pit stop. Yep, 100% fuel. So if he used 3/4 of a tank, you know, around halfway. We've actually done a little bit less than halfway. Probably fill up to that amount or something like that amount, I think, to make it to the end. Anyway, we're not going to sit here and watch the rest of it. Who has passed him while he's in the pits? I don't think anyone else has pitted so far. Nobody else has pitted. He's the first one. Ooh. I think his pit stop left to let these two fight, you know, let them free to go fight, which, you know, resist the temptation. Resist the temptation, right? Because if he puts a nasty outlap on y'all, he pitted so that he could avoid your traffic. He wants to get around you. You know what I mean? So work together. Don't let him outdo you with his outlap, because when you pit, you don't want to be in front of him still. So keep it together, keep it cool. Bump draft each other down the road, pick up that speed he can't pick up on his own, and sail by him coming out of pit lane. Or actually, don't see him at all. Come out of pit lane, and all he can do is watch you say bye-bye into Dunlop. That has made his way back into 6th place now with that pit stop by Rusty, technically. So well done there for Matt. That's no shade. Everyone inherits a position while we wait to see where Rusty will come out. There he is. Came out in 11th. So just in front of Monkey Man by 4.7 seconds. Monkey Man, Ricardis, and then Turosi, who is last place behind them. Hi, Chev. How you doing? We're just listening to some wonderful race car sounds here. Thanks for joining us. Our 2 leaders are into the pit, so that's Hovercraft in. That's the Truth in. Gonna try to cover off. Rusty Maggot's undercut attempt there. Let's see where is Rusty now. AT16 also behind them in the pits. All S7R racers must be coming in around this time. Not Rusty though. Trixie Little Hobbit is Rusty. He is coming down the back straight now into Indy. Now remember, these guys have to sit in the pits and fuel, so it's going to be a while before they come out, Hovercraft and the Truth. But of course, we're watching to see where Rusty comes out in comparison. In the meantime, because of all the pit stops, Turbo inherits first place. Tech Racing is back into second with a 1 second penalty. Tech, you're not going to get back there like this. We can't keep this going. Turbo just picked up a half second himself. Look at that. Tech, purple in the first sector. Very fast, very pacey, but pens, penalties, pens. HPR, third place, inherited, everyone else behind in the pits. Hovercraft still fueling up. It looks like he's almost done, as is the Truth. Yep, getting to that 3/4 of a tank mark where I think they will pit to. Rusty actually pitted to more though. He pitted to almost a full tank. Is that going to hurt him? He's coming through Porsche now, Maison Blanche, so this is the area where he would run into them. That's pit lane coming up on the right here. That right there, that's the entry for pit lane. He is passing it now. He's going into Ford. The Ford chicanes. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to these two. The Truth, I'm still showing, is still in the pits. Still in the pits. He might be out now. Let's see if we can see them. Don't see any cars. Is that the Truth behind him? It sure is. He comes out, he splits them. Hovercraft into 5th place. Rusty Maggots into 6th, and the Truth in 7th. The Truth fueled up almost to a full tank, just like Rusty did. Where's Hovercraft? Also same full tank of fuel there. I guess that makes sense. You use a little more fuel on the softs than you would on the mediums. You're just going faster. You can get on the gas sooner. And obviously you want to make sure you don't run out of fuel to fight to the end. So Hovercraft into 5th place after those pit stops. Of course, everyone in front of him still owes a pit stop while we're in the middle of our pit window here. So technically he is still running in 1st place. Rusty Maggot's technically running in 2nd as he split these 2 leaders, and the Truth behind him by 2.6 seconds is in 7th place. So the Truth lost a lot of time in that pit stop. Not really sure where or how, given that all these guys are fueled up to the same level and they had similar amounts of fuel in their cars. But I think, as I recall, when I went through the roll call, the Truth had a little less than everyone else, and when fuel is worth a second a liter, it hurts. It hurts. Mihai says, go Turbo. Turbo's been having a great race. He's been hurt by the same thing as everyone else, though. Lots and lots of penalties. He could be having a better race, but, you know, that's okay, because the people in front of him aren't necessarily having a better race. Maybe this guy, Hovercraft, I've only seen him with like 1 or 2 penalties so far, so he's doing great in that regard. But, you know, we're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. People should be pitting soon. I see a lot of lights on. It's a long lap around here, and a lot of it is spent at the very top of the rev range, so I don't think people are going to want to play around when that light is on. They're going to want to jump in, pit, fuel, get ready for the second half of this race. And also, being that it's a 4-minute lap, if you have not pitted yet, we only have 6 minutes left in the pit window. You got to pit, you got to get your fueling done, you got to do the things. So make sure you get in. Everyone should be jumping in here. Pit window only being 10 minutes around this place means that you only have 1 or 2 possible laps that people would pit on anyway. Maybe 3. But given how long a lap is and how long pit lane and how long it takes to refuel, I expect that we're basically seeing everyone in the same laps, with the exception of Rusty Maggots, and his gamble so far has played well for him. He's only got one additional lap on his tires than anyone else, so no biggie there. Cyclone, when are you pitting? Because everyone else has. HPR now in. Turbo and Tech, who were ahead of Cyclone, have now pitted. Looking here, who else has not pitted? Everyone else is fresh. So Cyclone is where? Oh, he's coming into Maison Blanche, so he's going to be able to pit now, and he should have plenty of time to get fuel and tires before the pit window closes. I was a little worried for him. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried. I was like, my boy, you gonna make it in time? There he is, hard on the brakes for that 90-degree left. And now he's gonna get his fresh fuel and tires. Still in our Tech Racing, Turbo, and HPR. Hovercraft goes past in first place, officially now. And behind him, 4.7 seconds behind him, Rusty Maggots with the Truth in tow. The top three very, very separated now. Hopefully the mid-pack can take over the, take back over the duties of showing us close racing. We'll see. Tech Racing out of the pits now. HPR still in there. Cyclone, of course, just got started. But we should have a picture of where everyone is very soon after the pit stops. Ha! Penalties already. Ricardis with 4 seconds. How do you pick up 4 seconds of penalty? Maybe touching the pit in or out line and then picking up an additional one? I don't know. But 4 seconds is very harmful. Macho Man with 1 second of penalty on that car, and this team just not doing great today. It no one likes to see that. We want everyone doing great. If it were up to me, these cars would all be bumper to bumper until the very last moment, until that checkered flag, bumper to bumper, bumpity bumps. Pit window's closing, and I think everyone has been in and out. Maybe, yeah. Cyclone's still not quite out. Maybe he will be by the time we finish the lineup. The new order of things. Hovercraft from 8th to 1st leads this race by a comfortable margin. Rusty Maggots is in 2nd place, and the Truth is not far behind. Should have been catching up on it. Been on a tear since they pitted out. So that's potentially a battle for 2nd there between these two S7R drivers. Turbo in the 4th place, been running a solid race. Was running with AT16 for a while, was deep in the mid-pack for a while, but now in the top 5. But racing in no man's land right now. Tech Racing into 5th place, so he has made his way back up the order some, but still a long way from where he was. He was leading this race for a good chunk in that first sector, or first stint. Now he's 26 seconds behind the leader. AT16 also was having a solid race. Definitely has had some moments. So it's been a mixed bag actually for AT16. They have come up the order. They started this thing way down in 15th, so 15th to 6th. Absolutely no disrespect there. I just think it's been some penalties. Just like everyone. HPR with a penalty now, half second. He came in from almost last place, I think 14th. 11th. He started this race in 11th. Now has made his way up to 7th. Well done for HPR. Matt Campbell behind him in 8th place. Started this thing in 14th. no very respectable. Absolutely. Has seen 6th place before. Still has an entire second stint to do that here. Almost 50 minutes left. Let it rip in 7th. Also been having a very quiet race. Was racing with teammate Hovercraft for a while, but has not been able to follow him into the... I think I saw a message to me there. I'm not sure. Has not been able to follow him into the lead of this race. Sticky Bandit in 10th place. Had a couple moments, but mostly a very quiet race as well. Cyclone in 11th place. We saw him get that pit in, get that pit out. He's also been having a quiet race just in the back. Monkey Man carrying a half-second penalty here. He's not been having a great race at all. He started this thing in 1st place and has steadily made his way down the order with at least one big shunt spin. I believe 2 though, because he's got some damage on the front of that car, or did have damage. He's fixed it since, but Monkey Man fell way down the order there. Ricardus, I believe, had to fix damage at the very start of this race, if I'm not mistaken, so that lost him a lot of time. He was in last place for some time, now 2nd to last, so hasn't been that much of an improvement, but at least he's caught up and raced with somebody. There we go. I skipped Turbozi. So Turbozi has been in 14th for a long time. Has a lot of damage on that car. Front splitter, rear splitter, front left wheel. He's bouncing around. That's my fault. Sorry about the bouncing. Let me see if I missed something important. It was not a battle for 2nd. We've seen this before. We saw it at the beginning of the 1st stint. A battle for 2nd going 1st place way up the road, but then 1st place gets a penalty. And that is exactly what's happened here. Hovercraft with a half-second penalty. He's got a good amount of buffer though, 3.4 seconds to Rusty Maggots in 2nd, who just made that pass on the truth there as we were watching. So he won't lose a ton of time to them, but it'll bring him much closer. And Rusty has shown a lot of pace, so that's the last thing you want, is Rusty getting closer. We shall see how this unfolds. We'll see how close Rusty gets. Close, first of all, once Hovercraft serves his penalty. He's just served it. Let's see that time. Watch that time go down and see where it stops going down. Oof. It really is such a huge punishment. Such a huge punishment. But over a second, 1.1 there, and Rusty and the Truth are going to see that. They're going to know that, and they're going to try their best to capitalize on that. Maybe Hovercraft starts making more mistakes. You never know. It's a shame we don't have a strong mid-pack forming here. That said, these races tend to accordion all the time. You know, they go back and forth. You'll have cars be far apart, and then next thing you know, we got a 5-way battle for something going again. But it's always so fun in that first stint. This first stint, we had 2 distinct 5-way battles for position on the track. And oh, those were good times, weren't they? Times were had. Times were had a few laps ago. It does look like our only real battle on the track is this one between Rusty and the Truth. And Rusty is already starting to run away with it here. Had a very, very fast previous sector, maybe the last 2 sectors in comparison to the Truth. And now has almost a second's gap on them. Really sorry for the bouncing around. While my PC that is streaming to you is connected to Ethernet, I'm in a hotel room, and so that was the only Ethernet connection I have. My PlayStation is running on Wi-Fi, and it's showing. People are bouncing around for me. Rusty goes purple in that sector there. We should start seeing some swaps for fastest lap. So far, HPR has it. A 357.777 made in this second stint here, of course, with the racing softs. Everyone jumping onto the soft tire. They should go faster. Rusty continuing to go purple here in these sectors, which I think is gonna happen unless he makes mistakes, but never know. HPR could be going purple behind him or somebody. There are a lot of cars behind. Is he trying to make a pass? The truth, I think so. Into Gulf Corner. Side by side, and he does get around Rusty there. So these two are probably going to go back and forth there. That was a very clean pass. Maiden slip. No need to, no way to defend, really. No problems getting offline or anything like that. So should actually have brought them a little bit closer to Hovercraft than it has. 1.7 seconds is that gap now. That gap has closed up severely, and now I wonder if it's not just, you know, some team play, like, hey, back it up a little bit so we can both get slip and we can all get away. The three top S7R cars running together now officially, and so the Truth and Rusty will both get a massive slipstream boost from Hovercraft. And I mean, I wonder, you know, like, because the gap went down so quickly between those three. I'm like, surely that's them saying, hey, Hover, give us a little, you know, something. I don't know that they need it though. There's so much time to turbo behind them. 15.6 seconds though. Maybe they've noticed something that I haven't. Maybe turbo's catching up. I don't know. Wasn't watching the gap. Anything could happen though, right? So, all right, I'll take it. Rusty and the Truth running the traditional S7R or a Team S7R livery. However, Hovercraft has opted for his own situation. Make no mistake though, he's a team player. He's a team player. I think his livery looks good. Let's see. Let's look up. USGT Turismo Stream. Okay. Reading that right? This is bad. Well, anyway, his own livery. Very interesting. I have to ask him about that later on.